Hello, everyone. I'm here tonight with a young woman from Pakistan. Her name is Wishah Abubakr. And as some of you may know, she has made some very startling claims recently about her husband, Shahzwarbugti. She claims that Shahzwar has, she's endured cheating and beating and blackmail from her husband for a number of years. And she's here with me now. Hello, Wishah, and thank you for joining me.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to your show. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm sorry that we're meeting under these circumstances. I know it's never difficult for a woman, a victim of abuse, to come forward. I can speak from personal experience about what a challenge it can be to come forward with very serious claims, particularly as a woman in Pakistan. But I've read your story, and I've also spoken to your attorney as well. And what you said is really, it's disturbing, but it's not surprising. I've met many women and children and members of the third gender who have gone through abuse here in Pakistan, and the state seems to be struggling with how to properly manage these cases. And so I will just turn it over to you a little bit, if you will. Just tell us a little bit about you and your background and the claims that you're making against your husband, Shahzwarbugti.
I'm from a very ordinary family. My father has been working for PPL, Pakistan Petroleum, for almost 41 years. Now he's retired. And when I got married to him, I was studying law, and I had just completed my first year. I couldn't keep on going with it because then I got married, and right after I got married to him, there were such serious problems in my life to address that I couldn't continue studying. So yes, my husband, he has always been an abusive husband. He wouldn't treat a woman equal to himself. He would always think that, even when I got married to him, in the very beginning, he told me that please do keep in mind that I always consider that a woman is lesser than me. And I can't help myself think otherwise. He mentioned it in the very beginning himself. And since that time, he would just give me a slap for sometimes no reason at all. He would go and he would see girls. And when he would come back, at least I need to have this much right that if I don't feel like talking to him, I should be allowed not to talk. But he would just beat me up, and he would tell me that, leave my room. He would beat me, and for no reason at all, he would say, why did you make a face? Why did you make a face? I come home, I want you to be pleasant with me. And then he would beat me with different things. At times he would just, make a knot of a bed sheet, and he would just keep on beating me with that. And I would get big blue marks all over my body. And he would ask me to leave the room, that if you don't leave the room, I'll keep on doing that. And when I would leave the room, he wouldn't see my face for at times 2 months, 3 months. I would be in a separate room in a city where I do not even have a family, and I'm not allowed to keep even female friends. It was a very painful relationship, but I kept on going with it until I had a daughter, and I just realized I don't want my daughter to become like me, who's being beaten up by her father day and night, and I don't want her to become like him also, who's an oppressive person. I want her to become a Muslim. I had some hope that, okay, fine, he's an abusive and aggressive person, but still there's some hope that one day he will become a better person. But when he started cursing and abusing Allah Ta'ala and prophets and everyone, that day I just made up my mind that it can't keep on going like this. Now a person who's behaving this way will never get guidance from Allah Ta'ala also. Why would Allah Ta'ala give him guidance when he's cursing and abusing him day and night? And that's the time when I just gave up. I can't raise my daughter in this environment. What will I teach her? Why shouldn't she lie? Why shouldn't she cheat on others? Why is she supposed to wear clothes? When you cannot explain accountability to your children, you can't explain anything to them. You can't teach them the difference between right and wrong. I don't know. At least this is how I feel. We need to explain things to our children. I can't just say to her, don't lie. She would ask me, why shouldn't I lie? And what do I say then?
Wishah, it sounds like you've gone through an extraordinarily difficult time. You've made mention that in our earlier conversation that your husband, Shahzwar, has abused you while you were praying, that he is essentially disrespectful of your faith, that he abuses you randomly, and he's gone for hours or days at a time, and he's cheating on you with other women. Why have you chosen to stay with him? Why did you not leave earlier?
Because I didn't have a choice. I just always thought that the moment I leave him and I go back to my house, I don't have an education, I cannot support myself. Another marriage, another man will be imposed on me by my family, and I was not in that state of mind where I could accept another man and another marriage, because that was the worst experience of my life, and I was unable to support myself totally. I had no education. My education was not complete. Has
anyone from the Human Rights Ministry of Human Rights, has anyone from the government reached out to you? Any women's rights organizations? Has anyone reached out to you?
Not some eminent figure, I must say. People have been trying, but they just, they would come and they would just back off. And not an eminent figure. Somebody who would say, I am from that department, I'm someone's assistant, I'm this and I'm that. Not somebody who can really help me out. And the moment I ask them, I want you to do this for me, and this is what is needed right now, they would just back off, they wouldn't respond.
So has anyone from the Ministry of Human Rights specifically reached out to you?
Yes, someone did, and they mentioned I'm from the Ministry of Human Rights. Then I asked him, I want, this is what I want to be done. And then he just said, okay, fine, I'll give your number to someone, they'll contact you. But the number, then the person he mentioned would contact me, never got back, so I don't know.
So Human Rights reached out to you, but they never followed up or followed through with you. Has anyone from the Aurat March or anyone from a women's rights organization reached out to try to help you?
No, people do, a public, they would say, okay, you follow this procedure, you do this and you do that. And I've tried doing a lot of things, but not somebody from the government officials have contacted me so far.
So I have some documentation. I'm just reading some of the messages here. Apparently, you were not the only woman that this man, your husband, I'm sorry to say, has abused. There are messages from the past few years from one woman. She says, and I'm quoting here, "He is an asshole of the highest order, messaged me in 2015. I don't think there's a single girl that he hasn't messaged." Some of these messages are too graphic for me to read, but it's clear that there are a lot of women who don't like shahzwarbugti and have been messaged, harassed, stalked. One woman says, "He was on my Facebook years ago. He spoke about religion and God knows some science. He's very strange and thinks the earth is flat." Does this sound familiar to you?
Yes, he talks about quite strange things. He's sometimes delusional. He will say, Earth is flat, this world is a video game, and you all are non-player characters. I'm the only real player character, and you're not real people. You're here to destroy me. He would often talk about these things. He's got severe OCD. Don't breathe over my food. Don't talk over my laptop. Whenever you come back home, don't touch anything. Don't sit anywhere with your dirty clothes. Take a shower and then touch anything. If a maid would, there's no furniture in the house. Literally, there's some plastic chairs, and even if a maid or a servant uses that chair, it is washed with a brush. And he's not, I don't know, he's delusional, I think. But he's very smart also. I must say, all these things that he does with women, he doesn't do these things out of delusion or something. He's very smart when he's trapping a woman. He's in his complete senses and he's trying to harm them, blackmail them. If any of these girls share all their stories or the chats, if you go through them, you'll realize he's very smart doing all these things.
You mentioned that he's blackmailing you. That's also something that I've seen some of the message from some of these other women, that he has blackmailed other women. What is he doing with you?
He just blackmailed me also. He leaked my pictures. When he realized a little bit that I want to separate from him, he just sent somebody literally to murder me. And then I had to go in the hiding. And afterwards, he's very smart. He just said that, he just leaked my pictures, my private pictures, to my servants. He took out my CDR. You know what a CDR is? Your call record of last year. And the food delivery guys I called, my driver, my servants, my chacha, my phopa, all my uncles, aunts, my cousins, who have been like brothers to me. Every single person, he sent my private videos and pictures to them. And it was so embarrassing for me. And I told you, he's a very smart person. He did it on Saturday when he knew that FIA would not function for 2 days. The systems don't work on Saturday and Sunday. Now, I want to literally question, if someone is in a situation, the societies from where we belong, honor is greater than life. So if we know that someone's leaking our private pictures and videos, in a situation like that, are we supposed to wait for 2 days? How can we do that? And then after waiting for 2 days, we are told that today your application will be submitted, and then God knows when it will be processed, and then God knows when the witnesses will be called for verification. It is such a long procedure. How can one follow that? You tell me, what are we supposed to do in the meantime when all this is happening? It's torturous. Waiting and waiting and waiting. Should we just sit and wait for the next person to make another move?
Yes, it is very frustrating, the process. That's something I can certainly speak to from personal experience. I think what I want to say to you, Wishah, is that you are not alone. You are speaking to your sister, who has gone through abuse here in Pakistan as well, who currently has cases pending before the courts. There are many other women that have come to me because they were not able to come forward as well. Their family would blackmail them, or due to personal circumstances, or they were afraid to come forward. There are many, many women and other vulnerable populations without a voice that are hoping that we will reach some measure of success, so that they will reach some measure of success, hopefully in the future. We have to be trailblazers. I know this is not easy. This is incredibly difficult. You get victim shamed. People try to intimidate you. I had people try to intimidate me recently, just the past hour or two, when I tweeted that we were going to have a conversation. People wanted me to mind my own business. Can you imagine that? As if I am doing anything. I'm trying to help you elevate your voice, and the government is apparently doing nothing. Human rights organizations are apparently doing nothing. Women's rights organizations are apparently doing nothing. And we have to ask why this is. There are organizations for humans, and women are humans too. Women's rights are human rights. So why aren't these organizations helping you? Why aren't these organizations helping more women with cases to ensure a transparent, impartial investigation takes place? So we're here.
You are a journalist. You must have faced a lot of situations like these. But my family, that is still where they used to live, and my husband knows where they're living. They are being threatened day and night. They are receiving threats. Oh, even my wife and my child is not with me. How can you sleep and live a happy life with your children? Kind of threats like these. And to the family from where I belong, where people do get scared, because they are noble families. There are people who cannot fight them back. So, there's a lot of pressure when I want to stand for myself, and I just want, I want justice. There are many things to pull me back. It's even from my own, and I don't blame them. Even though they are with me, they're supporting me in every possible way, but they themselves are scared for their own children, for the safety of their own children.
My own family, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but my own family was blackmailed, or they tried to blackmail my family and intimidate me through my family as well in the United States of America. And I'm an American. So the blackmail that you're talking about and the family intimidation, I have gone through that very thing. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So were you scared even in America?
I was concerned for my loved ones. Yes, absolutely. But that's given me more determination to push forward. I don't respond to intimidation tactics like that. I'm still here in Pakistan. I'm still fighting my cases. I will continue to fight my cases. And you have a friend in me. You have a sister in me. When you come to Islamabad, if you want me to go with you to FIA, or if you want me to go with you to your court, you let me know. I will stand by you literally. I don't mean that just to say that. I am here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank you before our time runs out. I want to thank you for the courage, for the bravery that you have, because you and other young women that I know, Nayabu Rani Sikandar, Ume Rabab Chandio, these are also women who are victims of feudalism. Their families were murdered over land disputes, and their cases are far worse than my cases. But the one thing all of us have in common are we are victims of abuse related to a feudalistic family. That is the one thing we all have in common. And
I also want to mention one more thing. Sorry to cut you. I have no issues with his family. Both the families, his mothers and his fathers, they're all the people whom I have met. I haven't met every single person on his paternal side, but yes, I have met a few, and they were great people. They all gave me a lot of love, a lot of respect. And same goes for the family of my mother-in-law. They gave me a lot of love. I can't tell you how they have been with me, how they treated me, how good they were to me. But it's just this boy, and he's like this because of his mother, not because of the feudal system. Because the other brothers are not like that. She supports him in every evil deed of his, up to the extent that at times I feel that she's also enjoying it. You know, the sadist mentality. She would support him. She would support him in getting me killed. She also wanted me killed. In leaking my personal pictures and videos, she played an equal part. I could expect this from my husband. Obviously, he's a man, but I could not expect this from my mother-in-law.
so why
She's a woman. How can
your husband's mother? Your husband's
Yes,
mother
sir?
is supporting your husband's mother is supporting him in blackmailing you and abusing you, and she's also supporting him financially.
Yes, in every possible way. I was just surprised at this, but this is true. This is all that is happening right now. When yeah,
It amazes
and
me.
she would always tell me when I would tell her, she used to call me Guria. When I would tell her that, this is difficult for me to see him with other women, and especially when I know he's sleeping with other women. He's even telling me day and night, he would tell me, oh, I love Falana. I love that woman's skin tone. I love her smell. I love her private part. I love this. I love that. That is what he would talk to me about. And my mother-in-law would say, oh, Guria, please, you keep quiet. It's so times. Beta, you don't do any contents of hers that I kept on listening to for years and years. Guria, just listen to it. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. It's the sons are like this because of mothers. I'm telling you, I'm training a daughter. I know how it is. Nobody's born this way. This is what they become, and they become that way because of the training they get from their parents, and especially mothers.
Yes, I was on a call recently with some British workers, and these women were shocked that the women, because women have been abusive in Pakistan as well. There were female political leaders here in Pakistan that abused me, women that have been abusive to other women. It's baffling to me. It's one thing if a man abuses a woman, and that's horrific. But for me, a woman to abuse another woman or to support the abuse of another woman is just confounding to me and so deeply disturbing. It boggles my mind. So, well, I know that you have to go. I know that you are also in hiding because you are concerned for your safety. And I hope that when I see you soon, it will be under better circumstances. Your attorney knows me. He's in contact with me. And you have a sister to stand by you when you decide to take the next steps here in Islamabad. So I want to wish you.
Thank you so much for your support and love. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. You don't know how much it means to me.
No, I can only imagine what you're going through, and I can empathize to a certain degree. But I think women of abuse, we accomplish more together instead of pushing one another down. And we have to encourage other women who have been abused by your husband, Shahzwarbugti, to come forward with their stories as well. Only then will, if more women come forward, we stand together, we can break this vicious cycle from the men who abuse and the women who teach them to abuse. You're right, this is a learned behavior. Enabling this behavior, encouraging this behavior is despicable, it's disgusting, and Pakistan needs to learn to address these sensitive matters for women. We cannot continue to just stick our heads in the sand like an ostrich and pretend like it doesn't happen. It happens. And that means police reforms, judicial reforms, safe spaces for victims or individuals coming forward with claims so that they can feel that they will be at least entitled to an impartial, transparent investigation.
I have never encountered a situation where I have to deal with police. But people are so scared to go to police. It's they don't feel safe going to police. I don't know, it's just the impression or this is the reality. But when my family was being followed by people, when they were being threatened, and I told them that you need to, write an application to police, they would say no, we would not go to the police. And even when my thing, when I was in this situation that somebody was following me and I was being targeted. When I knew all this, I must say. So, I was also scared to going to the police. I just had it in mind that I go to the police and they will deliver me to the man who's looking for me right now. They will just hand over me along with my child.
Well, there is certainly there's a trust deficit between police and the people, that's for sure. There are many good police officers. I know many good ones here, but I would also but there were also police officers that failed to investigate my case properly, and they lied to the media saying that they investigated when they did not. So I know good police officers, and then I also know police officers who lied to the media about my cases because they were intimidated into lying as well. So it's a negative system that must be fixed. And I think we have a couple of minutes left. There's an important message here, I think, for young women. You mentioned that your education is not complete, and if you divorced him, where would you go? Education is something that's so important for women, and you have a young daughter. Is there a message that you would want to say to young women who have not completed their education and the choices that they make in terms of who they marry, in terms of making good choices, marrying a man who can provide for you and who encourages you to have an element of independence to support yourself as well? What message would you say to young women?
I must say that divorce is a tragedy. It can take place. It's not something, and you are given that right by Islam also. That if two people are not happy together, they can separate. But the reason women today are scared because their education is not complete. And secondly, I must say there are a lot of women who are not much interested in studying. So there are a lot many other things that they can do. There are skills. There are a lot of skills that they can learn. There are short courses which they can opt for. It's not necessarily that you need to have books in front of you and study. It's just that keep one thing in mind: you need to stand somewhere. You need to know how you can earn your own living. At least this is how I think for my daughter. That the day she is capable of earning something on her own, that is the day when I'll start thinking about getting her married. Or even if she wants to get married somewhere, I have no issues with that too. But I'll ask her first to become something on her own. Because when we cannot earn our own bread, that gives a man the option to become oppressive. Because that makes him think, if she leaves me, sure, she's even incapable of eating. She can't eat anything. She won't have anything to eat if she leaves me. And because he's the provider of that bread, he literally considers himself as God at times. I have heard this thing, I'm God. I have heard this thing many times. And even if you're not doing anything, you're not making money, you're not doing anything for yourself, but your husband knows that you can, it gives you a lot of confidence. There are many good men around, but I don't know, he's the only one I came across. So this is my experience, and this is what I have learned from it. So there's so many things. You can just take a course from some beauty salon. That way also you know how to do that. There's so many other things also. You can take some short marketing courses. You can learn cooking. There's so many home-based kitchens these days. You can learn baking. You can do so many things, so many skills also that you can learn. It's not just that you need to read a book. Oh, I'm not good at studies, I don't get good scores. It's all right, try out something else, but you need to do something. It's for every single woman.
No, right. Wishah, thank you so much for sharing your story and taking the time for us, for all women. You are a voice for the vulnerable as well, and I hope that we're able to amplify your voice so that you can continue to blossom and to thrive for your sake, your daughter's sake, and for other young women around Pakistan and the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So very
having
much, Shukriya. I know it's Ramadan, so Ramadan Kareem. I know it's a difficult time for you, but you are in my prayers, and I will look forward very much to seeing you very soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, We'll speak soon.
Bye.